going forward. Thanks again for joining us for this Power Hour today. TBC Power Hour feature extraction updates for TBC 2025.10. With me today is Christina. Christina, if you'll introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Albert. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Christina, product manager for feature extraction. And we're going to talk about updates for classification, feature extraction, and Trimble Business Center today.
Thanks so much, Christina. If you can go on one more slide. There we are in our introduction page. Just quickly, some housekeeping items. Please don't use the chat. You'll see there is a Q&A section. If you need any questions that you want us to answer, please add them in there. We will get to them at the end of the slides and the live demo, if all goes well. And then for those questions we don't get around to, they are recorded in the Q&A with your email addresses as well, so we can reach out to you afterwards and give you some feedback there. So please use that if you have any questions or any comments for us. That'd be great, always appreciate it. Then, as I said, the recording would be available by the end of the week, beginning next week. And that's it. I think from here on, I'll give over to Christina. She'll go through the slides, and then we'll get a little bit of a live demo at the end. Hopefully that goes pretty well. So, Christina, over to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Albert. And we're jumping right into it. We enhanced our core capabilities, AI-based classification and geometry extraction. What exactly? First of all, we improved our classification model for point clouds collected with terrestrial sensors, stationary scanner, mobile mapping systems. What exactly have we improved? We have cleaner and more accurate classification for sign structures, overhead signs, cantilever signs, and we have a much better classification for overpasses right now. And you can see this on the slide. This is overhead sign classification in the version 2025.10. You see that lots of overhead signs are classified as buildings, as poles, so it's a complete mess. But in the version 2025.10, we have all the overhead sign structures classified as a traffic sign, which looks much better. Here you can see how the classification of the overpass and overhead signs looked like in 2025.0. You see that the sign is again misclassified as a building, as a pole, a little bit of a traffic sign, unclassified. The overpass is classified as class undefined. And in the version 25.10, we have all the signs classified correctly. We have a clean classification of the overpass. Why was it important to improve the classification of traffic signs and overpasses? Well, first of all, nobody ever complained about making classification a little bit more accurate and cleaner. And second, more practical use for this is, first of all, the sign extraction runs much better when the classification of the traffic signs is cleaner, and the ground surface modeling and pavement inspection requires good classification of overpasses, because essentially what's an overpass is the pavement, is the ground, so it needs to be classified accordingly. So right now, no manual cleanup needed. It's just classified correctly from the very beginning. We improved our customized AI model training. We improved UI a little bit, moved around certain buttons, and we significantly improved the training time. Now the training time is much shorter than it was before, so the training will be faster. You can get your models of the same accuracy much faster than you could get them before. We improved our geometry extraction tools, specifically traffic sign extraction. Traffic signs are now extracted 30% faster, which is especially relevant for mobile mapping data sets. Large corridors with many signs. It used to be a little bit slow, on the slower side. Now the speed has improved, and now the overhead signs and signs on multiple masts are extracted correctly. one small change in this workflow. Now, before running the traffic sign extraction, you will be required to classify the point cloud, which I think most of the users did anyways, because it's faster to run sign extraction not on the complete point cloud, but just on the point cloud that contains just the sign point cloud region. So now you will have to classify your point cloud, switch on just the traffic signs and maybe the ground, and you just run the automated extraction of traffic signs, and it should be up to 30% faster than it was before. Another big topic is pavement inspection. Many improvements here. We added a new analysis mode, which is called road network. We used to have only one analysis mode. It was called automatic. An automatic analysis mode divided pavement that was submitted for analysis into sample units and sample segments of the user-defined size. But usually the agencies have their own segmentation, which they want to use. They want to return pavement analysis results for the segments that they specified, the segments that they maintain in their pavement management system. So we added this new mode, road network, which allows user input road network with user input segmentation of this network. So we can analyze and return the results for user-defined segments. For those who are new to this topic, what is a road network anyways? Road network is an entire inventory of roadway that a transportation agency is responsible for. They manage this road network, they inspect it, they maintain it, and the government agencies manage large-scale road networks and pavement assets. They use a concept, linear reference and system, LRS. This is a data model that allows assets to be located along a linear road using a measure. So you don't use the XY coordinates, you use mile point or kilometer marker. Road network is usually broken down into smaller manageable units that are called segments because it's more practical to inspect the road using these smaller units, and it's easier to analyze the data, and then you can aggregate this segments into larger segments, into the routes, and so on. Usually road network is represented by a line feature, road center line, with the points representing intersections and beginning and off segments. How is road network implemented in TBC? In the analysis mode, you will now have two radio buttons, automatic, that will divide your pavement submitted for analysis into sample units and segments of user-defined size. That's what we had before. And now we have road network mode. Road network mode will allow you two additional user inputs. You can add your road network, center line of the road to the analysis. It can be a shape file, it can be any vector file. Optionally, the road network can be pulled from Esri. And then a user will need to specify unique segment identifier, the attribute field that is this identifier for the segments. So the road network, the road center line, will be divided into segments for which we will return the results. Each of those segments must have a unique ID, and you will specify this attribute in the select unique segment identifier field in TBC. The mode will generate segments based on the input line string. Sample units in this case will not be generated, so there will be just segments, and road analysis will be performed according to user-defined segmentation, with the results provided for each segment. We added post-analysis QA/QC as well. After you completed your pavement analysis, you can identify and review the segments that do not meet the specified PCI index. So let's say you have your analysis done, and then you're interested only in the segments that have PCI score lower than 60. You can set the score, and the tool will guide you from one segment to another until you reach the end of your road. And you can see what's in the segment. You can see what kind of distresses are present in this segment. You can verify them. You can switch on Ortho, you can switch on point cloud. You can check the distresses. And then what's more important, you can assign a treatment type to the segment, and you can add any comments. We have a list of predefined treatment types. You can add your custom ones as well to the list. Why post analysis QA/QC is important? Well, first of all, you add additional information for decision making, right? It's additional layer of information, which is a treatment type that you can add to your data for your customer or for the field crew. You connect Office to the field. So instead of just exporting the PCI results, the segments with just PCI scores, with just all the distresses that are present in the segment that was analyzed, you can assign a treatment type. So the field crew has not only information about what distresses are present in the segment, but the field crew will always have information, will also have information about what kind of repair is needed for the segment. And field crews can then import this data into Trimble Access to pinpoint critical areas and identify necessary repairs. All this data now can be exported as a shapefile with attributes, so you can export not only distresses that TBC generates, but you can also export the segments and sample units with the PCI score, with the treatment type, and with a list of distresses that are present in the segment or sample unit. We finally improved our Ortho for more accurate crack detection and more accurate crack measurements. Those of you who ever used Ortho feature remember that we used to have the misalignment issues. We fixed that. Now our Ortho lanes are free of misalignment, and it ensures that your measurements are correct and the crack detection is better as a result of this. We're working on the complete workflows, not just isolated solutions. We understand that the data that you have in TBC, the analysis results that you generate in TBC do not end up in TBC. Your customers have pavement management systems. They want to store this data somewhere. They want to export this data. So as I mentioned previously, when I was talking about the post-analysis QA/QC, now you can export sample unit segments and individual distress geometry plus attribution as a shapefile, DWG, DXF, and this data can be easily shared to any third-party software that accepts these formats, or you can share this via Trimble Connect, or you can share it via Trimble Access with the field crews. We also enabled integration with Esri specifically for pavement inspection. Now, the results that you get after running the pavement inspection, you can push them directly to Esri geodatabase, or you can push them to Esri feature service. We have predefined schema for Esri feature service, but if your schema does not match our schema, we have special tools, specifically a JSON file that allows you to remap attributes so the schema in TBC matches your schema, and you can easily push your results to Esri feature service or share it via Esri file geodatabase. And with this, I'm handing this over to Albert, so you can see a live demo of the new features.
Thanks, Christina. Let's just see quick Q&A if there's anything specific. Just looking for a little bit better understanding of the custom AI training. The tutorial, I see somebody said that there's not all the data is not in there, so we'll check on that for you. If you don't know about the tutorials, there is a tutorial step-by-step guide on how to do the custom training. So Rennie, if you haven't seen that in your support tab, let me share my screen and then I can actually show everyone what I'm talking about. So in the support tab, you will be able to find, there we go, entire screen, that should work. Hopefully everyone can see that. If you go to the support tab in TBC, you will see there under tutorials, you can find the stuff that you need for custom training. There will be a tutorial with a full work guide for you, step by step how to do it with some sample data if you ever need to do that in there. And if you need to do some training on it and you don't have a machine, you can always go to the e-learning page. There is virtual machines available there for you, so you can actually train and upskill yourself on a machine that has all the licenses available from TBC side, all the modules, and you don't have to tie up a production machine. So that'll help in there. Off to the demo quickly. So what we see here is this is a little section of the I-25 highway close to our offices. I'll just zoom in a little bit. As you can see, I did do some work on capturing a few of the solid lines and some dashed lines. That was all done through the, let's just see if I can hide this. That will help me a little bit. Let's move more. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. So as I said, let's go. Good. So here you can see I have done some work in this under the point clouds. If you go under extract line features, this was all done, all those yellow lines. I did them all through that to capture some of this, and that is what I will use for my pavement inspection. Now, this little pink line that you see here, that's one of the runs. So if you have mobile mapping data, if you go over there, you'll see all the data runs that you've done for your mobile mapping. And then lastly, this thick white line that you see over here, this is actually the road network sections that we have available to us and that we will now use in the new road section part. So if I go in there and, oh, yeah, of course, as Christina mentioned, does help to classify your data, because at the moment I'm only working with ground. So if you go under view filters, you will see I've only got my ground switched on. That makes it much less data to work with, much easier to find what you're looking for. So definitely recommend that you do the classification of data sets, especially if it's large ones like mobile mapping, scanning data from aerial as well. It just helps you in working with your data and makes it much easier to find what you're looking for. So if you go into mobile mapping, you go into inspect pavement condition. You will see you have two options now. Automatic is the way we previously did it. You simply select your mobile mapping run, which will be one of these lines. You then select the lane lines between which you want to do the inspection, and then you simply tell it the size, and it will analyze it according to that. If you have a backward-facing camera, am I correct, Christina? Then crack detection is something that you can do, or is that with any of the systems at the moment? Okay. So there we go. We need that for crack detection. So if you want to do that, and you can also analyze the road shoulder that we recently added as well. The severity thresholds, that is where you set what you're acceptable. It is according to the American road standards. Analyze it. You can stick it on a filter and off you go. Now we have added the road network, and you'll see this works a little bit different. So again, we will select a mobile mapping run. The network segments is all the little parts that you have there that has feature codes assigned to them to define the sector sections for us. So what I will do is I'll select one there, I'll select another one, and let's do another one there. So those are the three sectors. I just put them up myself, but you obviously have, if you have defined sectors like this, you select the ones you need. And then the unique segment identifier, as you'll see, this is just the feature code list from this. Mine is the route, and it will give me that unique identifier so I can define which section I am working with. Now we just have to select the lane lines which we want to use. So I will quickly go and select that. As you will see, TBC will define the area that you would like to do, and I'll just use those two for this example. And there we go. That is how long it will go. But obviously it will just use the network sections that we selected and not the whole one as we go there. You can create or extract lines even here if you haven't done it beforehand. That can still be done if you haven't done it. I'll do a little crack detection there. We have the back camera, or if you have Ortho lane, you can do that. The severity thresholds, I'll just quickly click on that. That is where you can define what that should be. We have the American road standards in there, but you can obviously define each of these as you see fit. As you can see, the ASTM default, if you click that, it goes back to the defaults that we currently have available there. Next up, I'll just quickly choose. Did I create a layer yet for it? No. So what I will do is I'll just quickly create a pavement condition inspection layer, and I'll just go and make it a nice orange color, just so I have something in there. Now, you have to, first of all, confirm your selection. So you won't be able to just go to confirm analysis or start the analysis. You first of all have to confirm your selection. When you click that, it will then give you an option to discard it if you're not happy with that. As you can see, it has now added my sections in there. And then if I go to analyze, it will start doing the analysis of those sections of the road for you. Anything to add, Christina, that I forgot about?
Maybe one thing about the road segments. Usually what we see is they're relatively small, especially on the highway. On the highway, the DOTs who manage the highways, they segment the routes, and the segments are around 0.01 mile. So they're pretty small, and that's how we return the results for every 100th of a mile. And then they aggregate it back in their payment management systems. For the cities, what we usually see is the road network for the city is segmented by streets. So from one intersection to another intersection. So the segments are a little bit larger. Usually, we do not recommend very large segments for analysis. But yeah, it will work with the majority of the segments that we usually saw coming from cities or DOTs.
Thanks. We'll just wait for the analysis to complete. Then you'll see it will split it up into those 3 sections with the specific name that I set the identifier to. And once you've done that, you will go and confirm the analysis, and then we'll be able to show you that post QA/QC part that Christina spoke about, where you can actually define what needs to happen with that specific section of the road. Does it need to be resealed, redone, or whatever the case may be in that specific area? So there we go. It has completed that. As you can see, now you have an option of what you would like to see in your final results. I'll just leave everything on as it is. I'll go to confirm. And now you can see in TBC, we now have the S1, S2, and S3 segments that is aligned with what my road network segments was in that data file that I chose. If you now go to the post QA/QC option, I can now jump between sections. I can show all. First of all, the PCI score, if that is below a certain part, it will only show you those sections. So let's go to 80. Let's just zoom out a little bit and see if it drops off any of these. Let's go to 80, and that's the rideability, correct, Christina? And as you can see, everything is still above that. Let's go to 70 and see if anything changes. Let's go to 90. Looks like everything is pretty good on this part of the road, luckily for us. I'll just leave it as is, but you can then define the bad sections accordingly to that. And you can individually go through all of them. So you can show all the sections, the inspected or not, and be able to jump through these ones by simply clicking on these buttons. You can jump from section to section, as you can see over there. And then on the treatment type, you can then have a look at the imagery. You can go look at the actual results from the pavement inspection, and you can decide if it needs to be removed or replaced, cracked, sealed, seal coat, or custom treatment. As Christina mentioned, you can add your own in there. So just to show you what the results look like, if we go into this, there we go, and we switch on segment 1, you will then see we did pick up some cracking in there. This part of the road is still looking pretty good. And there you go. Let's go to section 2, and that is all linear cracking only, and the same for 3. So we had a pretty good part of the road actually here. Then you can see some of the stuff that's been picked up by this. as Christina mentioned, you can actually now export these as well. They can go into directly into Trimble Access if you want to send them out. You can link them up into Esri database if you want to do that. Once you're happy with your treatment type that you set up here and all that is good, that'll all be CAD elements now for all these improvements that needs to be done, or all the defects that you picked up. If you go into the GIS section, you can see here, if you go to GIS Connection Manager, which unfortunately mine doesn't want to work this morning, but in here, if you create a new connection, you'll have different options of how you can export these results now. So you can just do it directly into shapefile, a file database, or you can go in directly into your Esri service. So if you go in there, you have to have your URL and your Esri service set up to connect with TBC. In the help, you'll find the steps on how to do that if you want to connect TBC directly into your Esri service, data service. And then the connection is set up, and you can read and write your GIS features in there. We can even get the schema from there, and as Christina mentioned, if you have a JSON file for that, we can even replicate that in TBC. And once you've done that, you can read and write all the features from the data service into TBC as well, which makes it easy to move data between the two services without having to do an export at all, and that is a direct connection. So those are the things I wanted to quickly highlight. Anything else that you wanted to mention, Christina? No, the feature service, unfortunately, not working this morning for me. And there we go. That's why that's not working. That is it on the inspection side of it. Anything else I need to show for you, Christina? See on the Q&A side if there's anything that we need to quickly look at. You can go, Christina.
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, thank you, Albert. Yeah, unfortunately, we were not able to show the feature service, the Esri feature service, but it's particularly interesting when you need to analyze the results and let's say push some simple data to web map application about the road condition. So we've seen cities that post the colorized polygons for their road network. They were colorized by the PCI score on their web service, so everybody can access the data about the road condition. So this is pretty interesting, and it's a great addition in this release. Now you can just press a button in TBC and just send all the results to Esri feature service, and you will see this on the map, and you can access it from your browser. And going back to your questions, I'll start from the beginning. So custom AI training TBC, as Albert mentioned, there is a tutorial that we have. We probably need to update it, but Rennie, if you had a chance to go through this tutorial already, and you think that there are some steps are missing or something is not clear, and everyone else, please let us know. We work with this functionality every week, every month, so it's hard for us probably to look at this tutorial from a perspective where it's the first time trying to use it. So if something is not clear, let us know. We're happy to add more information to it, or we're happy to maybe even schedule one extra webinar where we show this functionality in detail, step by step. Is there any plan for TBC being able to automatically extract break lines from point cloud? So this is a question from Scott. Scott, currently lots of our users, customers, they use our curb and gutter extraction for certain break line extraction where the profile is pretty clear. We've seen users extracting jersey barriers, guardrails, with our curb and gutter extraction tool. We've seen them extracting certain flow lines even with the curb and gutter extraction tool. So you can extract break lines semi-automatically. At this moment, it's semi-automated. That's why it's so accurate. You can extract every feature that has a distinct profile. It should be possible. And tomorrow we have a LinkedIn webinar where Tavish and Jonas, who work in TBC team, they will be showing our curb and gutter extraction tool, and they will actually show how you can extract guardrail and jersey barrier with our curb and gutter extraction tool. So I highly recommend joining that webinar, LinkedIn webinar tomorrow. Dean, is there a maximum number of segments that you can select? I assume this is about the pavement inspection. No, there is no max number of segments. You can select any number of segments that you like. As I said before, very often there will be hundreds or thousands of segments, most likely, because if you have a route with the, I don't know, hundreds or tens of miles, and if you have a segmentation at 1/100th of a mile, then you will get a lot of segments. But there is no limitation for that in TBC. And if you need to select multiple segments, you can use polygon selection. You can switch off all the other layers off in TBC. You can leave just the layer with your road network and your segments on. Use polygon selection to select those segments, and yeah, you can run the analysis.
I'll take that next question, Christina.
Okay.
You can mute
So for Anonymous asking about the travel lanes and how to do that automatically, I can quickly show you a little bit here. So let's say over here is a part of the road markings that I would like to extract. So in TBC, if you go under the point clouds, extract line features. If you go into that, you will see we do have semi-automated and automated. So mobile mapping data, you can actually have all the mobile mapping data switched on, and it will automatically detect all the lane lines for you. I'll just show you a quick setup for the semi-automated solid lines. I do have a layer for that. There we go. That's not switched on, so let's quickly show that. And then once you go into there, your extraction type, you see we do have solid singles, solid double lines, and dash lines works as well. So I'll show you the dash lines after this. You simply click a point in your point cloud on the line that you would like to extract. And then under advanced settings, you can tell it the maximum travel. I'll just go with 10 for now to keep it simple. You can even create line node points. So that'll be points on the line, and you can define them by the maximum interval here. That'll obviously create points every 10 feet. Otherwise, if you want more, you can make that more. Once you've done that, you simply click on extract, and TBC will start extracting the line for you. As you can see, it will run until it cannot find the next defined point or the line disappears on it. You can always undo it, snap it to the center, add a segment if you want to do something manually where there's a gap in the data or the line work or the lines on the road is not very clearly defined. You can do this manually as well. So we'll just let it run until the end and show you what that looks like. And then we'll jump onto a dashed line section as well and show you how that can be done easily in TBC as well. When it gets to the end, you can always switch the direction as well. So you can start anywhere on the line. You don't have to start at a specific point or have a specific end point in mind. You can literally click in the middle of the line wherever you find it, and it will go in one direction, switch it up, and it will then go in the opposite direction to complete the line for you. This should be done in a bit here. There we go. As you can see, it went to the end of the data. I'll click on switch direction and just tell it to extract again. Obviously, there's a gap in the data. If I want to, I could do that and jump it over there. I'm not going to do that for now. Once you've done all that, you can always go into the QA/QC process if you want to, or you can simply click on create line. A very important step. Don't discard all or close this before you create the line, because TBC will show you this is the line that I'm going to create, and then you've got to tell it to create that line for you. As you can see there, we now have that line created over there. If we then go and change it up to the dashed lines, Now we simply go and choose that one. I'll switch dash lines on here quickly. There we go. I'll just start off over there. Now you choose your dashed option over there, and then it wants you to pick the first dash and the second dash. So this gives TBC an indication of the spacing between the dashes. The arrow is the direction it would do, and then you can see the darker part is TBC and the intensity from the lines. You can play around with that as well to make sure the markings on the road is clear and there's not too much interference from anything else. Extract, and then you'll see TBC will automatically jump from dash to dash and create them. You can create line node points, so create 2 points on each of the dashes. So if you want to have actual points for the dashes, you just simply tick your create line node points on here as well, and it will create points for you on these line nodes as well. Again, when you're done with it, simply switch the direction and you can tell it to extract, and it will go in the opposite direction for the dashes as well. And it can't go further, either tell it to do a jump manually, or you can simply create the lines. If you're happy with it, you can do some post QA/QC as well on that afterwards. Create it, and as you can see there, I've quickly and easily created my travel lanes and line work from the data by or semi-automated ones. If you have mobile mapping data, automatic works great, and that will create a lot of the line work for you without having to do the clicking that I've done for these steps. Anything I forgot about that, Christina? I think that's the main gist of what we need there.
Yeah, for semi-automated, yes. For automated, it's very easy to use. Maybe we can switch it on to show it. This works only for mobile mapping data. Here we rely mainly on the imagery from 360 camera, and refinement is done based on the point cloud. The advantage of the automated lane line extraction over semi-automated is, of course, well, automation, right? You just select mobile map and run, you click a button, and all the lane lines are extracted, and they are classified automatically as well. The second advantage of a fully automated extraction of lane lines is that and sometimes when the intensity of the lane lines is not good anymore, you still can see those lane lines in the imagery, but you cannot see them in the point cloud when you use the intensity filter in the semi-automated mode. So the AI model, because it works with the imagery, even if the intensity is not good anymore, it will still be able to detect those lane lines in the images because the paint is still there. This mode was specifically created for pavement inspection. Of course, you can use it for any other applications, for extraction of lane lines, for design, or for any other projects that you need. But if you have a very large corridor, road corridor, and you need to extract lane lines, and you have the mobile map and data from MX system, this is the way to go. Automated extraction. No need to click and wait until the line is extracted. Just select a run or a run subset, click extract, and come back to your extracted lines. And then you can do a very simple QA/QC if needed.
Thanks, Christina. If you just look at the next one as well about feature extraction inside buildings, if you want to just quickly touch on that for us.
It's a very interesting topic. We would need to understand what you need exactly. When you mentioned that you would need signs, exit signs. Okay, from handheld scanners. Feel free to send us the data. Feel free to send us the list of features that you would like to extract, and we can definitely go from there. We won't be able to reach you because you are anonymous, but you see our name. So find us on LinkedIn and send us a message, and we can share our emails with you, or maybe even have our emails in this in the slide deck. But to answer this question and to take some action items, we definitely need more information from you.
You can go to the next one as well.
Yeah,
refine sidewalks. I know we are working on that as well.
Refine classification by color. I would say this would be very easy to add a filter like this. If you think there is a use here, we could do this. I don't think it would be great to do this automatically because we had experience training models using RGB, and RGB, the color can be quite dangerous because sometimes there are objects of the same color as the object of your interest, and you didn't even know that. And then you end up with the misclassified objects. But this could be definitely interesting. By color, filtering by intensity probably is another request that we've been hearing quite a lot. If you have photogrammetry data from a drone, are you able to extract roadway line work as well? Photogrammetry data, you definitely won't be able to use the automatic extraction because it works only for MX data. But I've seen some data sets where you could extract lines with the semi-automated mode sometimes. Better if you have LiDAR, of course.
Yes, just on that, we have seen some good results with photogrammetry data and LiDAR data from drones. So yes, you can definitely use that. Terrestrial scanners as well. That data is good enough to use the semi-automated extraction of not only lines, but point features and geometry as well. That'll work with any generated data that is even from drones or static scanners, handheld scanners we can use as well. So you should be able to use a lot of these functionalities with that feature extraction, points, lines, and geometry in there. So that shouldn't be a problem, and we'll be able to classify all that data as well, if it's point cloud.
And we have several questions in the chat. What is the minimum PPSM for terrestrial LiDAR collection to work with our AI classification models? Mark, I cannot answer this question, unfortunately, because I don't know what are the limits. We would need to test it. I have very big doubts that it will work with the true large-scale aerial data. Maybe it will. Maybe aerial classification will. Maybe our aerial classification model will work with such data. I would like to try it out. If you have a data set like that, let us know. Feel free to try or share this data set with us. I cannot answer this question because we trained and tested our models on static and mobile scanner, and the density is pretty good. The drone data is sparser. It still works. Our aerial model still works. But yeah, depends how sparse the data is. But we're happy to test. Train classification model section in TBC data set is not full. Mikhail, we will check it. Thank you.
Just quickly add to everyone the link. Is that the link you shared there, Christina?
For the webinar? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just quickly share it to everyone. So that link is where you will find the LinkedIn Live webinar.
Peter, classification and training custom classification models. What is new? What the latest news? There are always some news. We will always try to improve our classification models because it aids feature extraction, whether it's manual or automated after that. The same for training custom classification models. We have not added any new classes just yet to classification models. If you have any suggestions as for the new classes for our models, please let us know. Happy to add those. But generally, at this point, for both training custom models and classification, we're trying to improve accuracy for the existing classes, and of course, we're trying to optimize the speed. Aerial LiDAR and our feature extraction. It depends on the point cloud density. I believe that certain features will work with aerial LiDAR data. Yeah, depends on the density and how detailed your data is.
Yeah, stuff like trees will not work because you obviously need the base of the tree to get the tree trunk size and those kind of things. poles as well. If you don't see the complete pole to the base, you might find that it might not work properly. But it all depends on the quality of the data set and the height that you flew that project at. But yes, if the feature is defined properly, you'll be able to use the extract feature tools that you find in here for LiDAR data as well from aerial. I see Mark asked a question just about how to remove point cloud data from a selected area without affecting the classified regions. I can show you quickly. Will you mute Christina, and then I'll unmute quickly.
Mark, just to show you quickly. So the nice thing about TBC is you'll see in here, you've got the keep in, keep out functionality and restore all. So we don't permanently delete any data from the point cloud. If you use this keep in, keep out functions, you can always get it back. So let me quickly just do a polygon select around this section. So I'm just going to remove this piece of the data set, and this won't affect the classification or anything else in my project. So as soon as you do that, all you can tell TBC is I would like to keep what I've selected, or I would like to keep everything outside my selection. So if you go to keep out, all the TBC will do is will literally just hide that, and you won't be able to see that anymore. If you have something that you would like to get back, simply click on restore all, and there your points is back. So it doesn't affect your classification. It doesn't affect your point cloud that you lose data because you removed it using the keep in, keep out function. You can literally just click on restore all, and once you've removed a certain aspect of your data and you want it back, simply just restore all and you'll get all your data back. If something has been classified in the wrong region, so let's say buildings is a vegetation that was high and it picked up as a building, you simply add it to a region, select it, and you just move the data between the different classification regions as well. So it's very simple and easy to do that in TBC and making it easy to move around. What license is the mobile mapping or photogrammetry? So mobile mapping is its own license. You'll have to have you have to get the license for mobile mapping, and then for photogrammetry, we have a specific license and subscription that goes with photogrammetry as well. So they are two separate subscriptions and licenses there. Anything else, Christina, you want to add?
We have several more questions and comments in the Q&A. Thank you, Gary. Yeah, so it looks like certain feature extraction tools work with aerial LiDAR. Great to know. Thank you for testing this. Thank you for letting us know. We were always wondering. How many training scans do you have to run through before you see consistent classification of custom objects? Very much depends on the type of object. Let's say if it's a fire hydrant and you have just one city with the same type of fire hydrant, then probably if you take I don't know, a small sample data set, I don't want to tell you the numbers because they might be incorrect and I will be in trouble after that. But maybe if you take like 10 hydrants for training, 5 for validation, because it's such a simple feature, and you can use RGB. Let's say, all the hydrants are red in this city, and they're all on the ground, right? There are no fire hydrants on the building or in the building. So it's a pretty consistent object, pretty simple, predictable object. Then you need, let's say, I don't know, like 10 for training, 5 for validation, you are good to go. You can classify the hydrants in the whole city. If you have something more complex, let's say electric box, this could be challenging. First of all, electric box or the utility box can be different in shape and size, and it looks like other objects might look like other objects in the street, right? So it depends on an object. If you're ever in doubt, please feel free to contact us or our support, or just contact us. We'll redirect you to our support so we can give you recommendations before you start training your models. We can look at your data, or we can read a brief message from you, what you're trying to train, what is the object, what kind of point cloud it is, and then we can give you some basic recommendations on how to start, how many point clouds you need, how many objects you need. to have a successful training set.
Can you just share the slides again, Christina? We can finish off. I see we've got about 5 or 6 minutes left.
Slides. Okay. Do you still have time for a couple more questions? What do you think?
Yeah, put the slides up and then we can do a few more questions.
Okay. You want? Okay. I will share the slides now.
Yeah, while that is on, we can continue with some questions.
Great. Let me find the questions that we haven't answered.
I'll just quickly answer John's question about the licensing. So a regular TBC license, it all depends on what you think is regular. But a TBC advanced license would not be able to do the mobile mapping or the aerophotogrammetry. You'll have to buy the mobile mapping or aerophotogrammetry module to add on top of your TBC advanced license. If you look at the subscriptions, there is an aerial and mapping subscription that will have photogrammetry, but mobile mapping is its own subscription that you need to buy on top of that. So that is how the license modules.
Right. We had a question about retraining your models based on user input, I believe. Any plans to improve classification by some basic input from the user to train the AI as it goes? We have been investigating this. Unfortunately, it is not as straightforward, especially on the desktop, because you need to it's not straightforward, and it's not always it doesn't always work to add data to the model and retrain the model just based on this set. So on the desktop, we would need to retrain the model based on the whole data set. We're working on that. There are some techniques that we still want to try. But yeah, I do agree with you that this would be quite beneficial. And it would benefit you, maybe other users as well, or your coworkers as well, right? If you're working with the same type of data. Any plans to get AI training feature in RealWorks? I don't think so. Not the moment, at least. Is there a way to do feature classification in a small area and work in sections to reclassify? Yes, I think so. It would be interesting to understand what exactly you have in mind for the workflow. We could probably enable something like modal confidence for classified features and show you only the points that were classified with low confidence, so you can go through those areas with low confidence. This could be one solution, if I understand you correctly. This is a great question, but again, we would need more information from you. So if you really want to do something about it, again, find us on LinkedIn or write us an email, because we will definitely need more questions before we implement something. We need to make sure we avoid incorrect implementation and do something that you were not even asking for.
That's it for time, Christina.
Okay, and we don't have more time.
You can mute and then I'll finish.
Just maybe last question. Segments offsets for break-in road network. I didn't see the term offsets in the road network workflow, or is it called something else? Okay, yeah. If you have the road network and the road network does not overlap with your mobile mapping trajectory or with the lane that you're trying to analyze, it doesn't matter. The road center line, the road network does not have to be inside of the lane that you're analyzing. We will project the beginning and the end of the segment, and we will still be able to segment the lane that you're analyzing based on the road network that is in the center of the road. but it's not in the lane line that you analyze. You don't have to specify any offsets. We will do this automatically. And I promise that's it, Albert.
Thanks, everyone. There is a few more questions. We'll check them out in the readout when we get after this, and we'll reach out to everyone if we didn't get around to your questions. Thanks so much. We really enjoy getting your feedback, and it's great seeing the questions, and that helps us to look at what we can do in the future as well. Just quickly on the resources, everything TBC related, support tab is your best spot to go to. The tutorials, the e-learning, the power hours, all the links are there for you to find. We appreciate your time. And did you add your email address in the last slide, Christina? I don't think you can skip that one. The next one would actually be about the automatic target extraction for aerophotogrammetry if you want to. So now we forgot to add our email addresses there, but you should be able to find us quite easily if you go look for us. Christina can quickly update hers there if she wants to. You're breaking it, that's fine. But thank you so much, everyone. We appreciate your time. Wherever you might be, have a good morning, evening, afternoon. We appreciate you for being with us. Hopefully some of the stuff we showed you is beneficial for what you can do going further into there. You just got to say all, Christina, when you want to post it in the chat. Select everyone, then they can see your email address. Thank you so much for your time. Please reach out to us if you have any more questions. As I mentioned, the next power hour, we will do a little bit of a deep dive into aerophotogrammetry, ground control, auto detection. So if you're interested in that and to see how that goes, please join us for that one. Thank you so much, and hope to see you in 1 month's time for the October TBC Power Hour. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Thanks, Christina.
Thank you.